Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today, long overdue, I wanted to show you guys how to get all of the world buffs. So this is just going to sort of cover everything you need to know for Raider, just sort of the basic ones. There are class-specific things. So I'm in Maul North getting my tribute buffs. Hunters on all servers pretty much solo clear it and do those types of runs. And once they do that, you can come talk to the king, and then you get this king buff. And you go and talk to 3 guards for 3 types of buffs. The 3 buffs that you can get are the 3% spell crit, which is what I'm here for most importantly. There is 200 attack power, which is great for melees. And there is 15% stamina, which is just huge for everyone else. So after you get the king buff, nothing in here will attack you. So if hunters can just solo kill the boss, I actually have a detailed guide if you're a hunter and want to do it. Puntard was huge in that and sort of let me record him doing all of that. So it was really awesome. So the first guy is right here. This was a very fresh clear. We're sort of rushing to get Oni because Oni's going to drop at 3 o'clock. So they pulled that guard, and so now the guard is going to be making his way all the way back here. And then once he gets here, we'll be able to grab that buff. But anyway, that's what we're going to sit here and do. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to cut it here and wait until that gets here, and then we will get the next buff. So I'll see you guys then. Whoop. Alrighty, guys. So we are here at that first buff, as I said. So you just talk to them, and you get it. Bam. 2 hour, 3% crit buff. Very nice. So now we're going to run and get to the other ones and be able to get the other 2 buffs here. They're all the way back here. Apparently someone messed that up for their hunter, unfortunately, and was unable to, he had to feign death and drop all the aggro and whatnot. But we got our buff, so we'll be able to help him at a later time. So with Darkmoon Faire in, that is a 2 hour 20% or 2 hour 10% damage buff. However, Darkmoon Faire can only be in Mulgore or the Elwynn Forest. So time is of the essence to run as fast as you can to try to get to Elwynn Forest in order to get the Darkmoon Faire buff without burning your current buffs too long. Now, this guy here, the second dude, he pats around. So you sort of got to find him. He's right here. Guard Fingus. He runs around this whole like outer ring here, and when someone talks to him, he's stationary. So that is the second buff. This is the 200 attack power one. As a mage, it's almost virtually useless. I'm not gonna staff whack anyone. And then we're going to run here and get the 15% stamina buff. So that's the important buffs that we can get right here. Then the next one that we're going to go for is most likely Songflower, just because Oni is going to be dropping at 3 o'clock, and I have the Songflower timer from earlier on when I was showing you guys how to do that, which you'll see here in a moment. But we have a portal ready to go and open, so nice and easy right there. That's all the buffs, and so now we are going to go get that Songflower just because we have the timer on it. We know when that's going to be, and Oni's dropping at 3 p.m. So I'm going to fly to Felwood and grab that. So I will see you guys when we get there. Whoop. Something I forgot to mention to you guys is it is so imperative that you buy your consumables and stuff that you think you're going to be using for the raid before you go out and get these buffs, because once you get these buffs, the first time you get them, your timer starts. You know, like these 2 hour buffs are ticking away. So every time I'm out here gathering the other buffs, it's gonna take a while. So normally you want to prioritize them from weakest to strongest and stuff like that. However, I just wanted to make sure that you grab your consumables. So, like, for a mage, the consumables I want are a flask of supreme power right here, a greater arcane elixir, and elixir of frost power. Now, depending how hard your guilds go, you might have mandated more consumables, like a greater shadow protection pot, depending how you kill Major Domo and MC, as well as greater fire pots are so helpful, and they will save your life so many times while you're in BWL. So those are just two of the protection pots in the three of those, as well as your guild might even require you to have some hourglass sand. This drops in BWL, but you can use this throughout you get that throughout BWL, and you use it on Chromagus. It's super big. It can save a lot of time if everyone has one at least. Like I said, you will get a lot during the raid, so thus far we've only had to wait the very first week for people to lose it, and we had one of the hardest fights to do it on our first week. But anyway, we're almost to Felwood, so I will show you that songflower that we plan on getting. It actually comes up in about 1 minute. So we might get there in time, we might not. We'll just have to hope and see. But Oni is a 6-hour cooldown, and it's a 2-hour buff. And Nefhead is an 8-hour cooldown, and it is a 2-hour. It's the same buff. You can only just see them drop every 6 hours or 8 hours. My raid is at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I actually will be streaming that on Twitch if you guys want to come stop by, watch this clear BWL, Molten Core, and even sometimes Oni if it's available. It's just super fun. We pull usually the guild watches, and we get a lot of people watching. So I invite you all to come. I would love to talk to you. You can talk to me about any videos, anything like that. We pretty much have it on farm now, so we're just sort of clearing it. I'm next in line for the Shadow Flame staff too, so I'm just so happy, excited to get some real gear, and hopefully it'll be a good night. But anyway, I hope you guys come and see that. And anyway, we'll get to this songflower here, and hopefully we can get it, and I will see you there. Whoop! Alrighty, guys. So, to continue with our buff order, you really want to get all the 2-hour buffs first, and then make your way to getting the 60-minute buffs. Now, these 60-minute buffs are generally going to be most of your consumables, as we mentioned at the start of this video. Some of them are even 30 minutes, which you're going to want to be a bit cautious with when you pop those, when you use them. But anyway, we're here in Felwood to get the Songflower buff. Now, you have to do a quest line, and I've already completed this quest line with Mavis River Breeze here. And then she allows you to get a beacon. You say you want a beacon, and it'll be a little lantern, and you can collect hunted shards, or you can use your professions. Now, I'm an enchanter, so I exchange these lesser nethers, and I get these plant salves for it. Now, what these plant salves do is you find corrupted flowers, and you cleanse those corrupted flowers, allowing you to take the buff. Now, there are a lot of flowers out here. Some of them are used in specific enchants. Others are used for just random buffs and whatnot. But we now have 13 salves, and we can look for a corrupted flower. Now, I would recommend using a map for these spawns, but to the best of my knowledge, the Songflower spawns can be up right where my mouse is here, over here, here at the camp for the Horde, right here by Blood Venom Falls. There's one along this path here above Iron Tree Woods. There's one back here in Fellpaw Village. There's another right here at the Alliance base. Now, those are the Songflowers that I personally know of. I definitely could have missed a few, so I would look at a map, but that's the best I can tell you guys right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to visit those points, look for a Songflower. Hopefully it's going to be a corrupted one, so I can show you that, and we can go and get that. If you're wondering why my DM buffs aren't there, I'm filming this slightly out of order because this is a good hunter friend of mine. I made a deal with him to enchant all of his stuff for free if he gets me DM buffs for free every week. So just a nice little barter there. Pretty cool dude. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, why you might be wondering, but you might not have even noticed that. Anyway, I'm going to find this flower and show you the rest of the world buffs. So I'll see you when we get there. Alrighty, guys, so we actually made it back here to this Songflower all the way in the back of Felpaw Village. We click it, and bam, we now have it for 60 minutes. This is one of the best buffs that we can get. The only problem with this is it's in the middle of the Timbermaw camp, so you're going to have to do a little bit of fighting sometimes. As a mage, you know, pretty easy. Just blow all my cooldowns, kill them nice and quickly, get a little rune cloth and that. So I actually do have a summon. There's actually that corrupted shard I was talking about. But this dude has a summon to the Darkmoon Faire since it's an Elven Forest. Your server might be different right now. You might have many, like, there's just a lot of things that could be happening or going on, whether you're Alliance Horde watching this, Darkmoon Faire up or not. It can be in Mulgore, Elven Forest. But as Horde, when it's in Elven Forest, I have someone to summon for the Darkmoon Faire. So this dude's hooking me up. He's going to get me there, and he said 30 seconds. And then once you're there, as I mentioned in the Darkmoon Faire guide, for the 10% damage buff, you just find the Sage, and you talk to them with the first, it's 1-1, so it's the first one for both to get the damage buff. So this is pretty awesome, and this dude is hooking me up, inviting me, and getting that. So I will see when we get there, guys, and get that awesome Darkmoon Faire damage buff. Alrighty, so we're here, and now we can grab this 1-in-1 right there, and then, bam, we have our Darkmoon Faire 10% damage buff. So just super nice right there to get that. Now we're going to port to Org and wait for Oni, which should be dropping in about 2 minutes. But we've gotten our Darkmoon Faire buffs, our Songflower, our 10% buff. We have all of our consumables, so it's looking really, really great. So Oni should be coming out very soon, like right on the cooldown. So what I like to do is hop on a tune, and if you sit right here at Valley of Strength, you can watch the person walk out with the buff, and then you can move from there onward. So what right here, this guy Overlord Runthak, when he walks back, he will then walk out to drop the head. So you get a DBM warning and just so many stuff. So we're gonna log here to save our buff, and then we will log over when we see the guy start to walk. So I like just sitting on an alt. You can sit on any level character, level 1 even. But as you can see, the city is so packed with people getting ready for this. Once he starts to walk back, then he will walk out forward. And yeah, so that's the way to do it and see it. Thascore right here has the head, and he's going to be dropping it as soon as he can. So that's pretty much it, guys. Honorable mentions for buffs while we're here and waiting for that one is if you're a melee person, you can go to the Blasted Lands and turn in these quests to get what's a buff called Roids, as well as a 25 agility buff that you can do. Those are that. Okay, he's walking back here, so now we're gonna log out because he's gonna turn that in instantly. But those road buffs, you collect some items, turn them in. That's for the super tryhard people, for warriors and rogues if you really want to maximize buffs. As well as we still have some of the Valentine's Day buffs. I have one thing of very, very cream left. It'll expire in 9 days of being on. But as you can see, Overlord is walking out. Then this doesn't show up on DBM. It'll show up on your DBM once he gets right there. So now it is going to trigger here. Right there, you can see Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer. You can even log out at this very moment and still log in. You get 14 seconds before the buff goes out. And then once this buff goes out, we will have everything we need. So what I like to do is now that we're fully prepared, have that buff, have all the other buffs, we can hearth to Kargath, log off, and we are ready for the raid. Some honorable mentions for buffs you can get is you can get MC'd. You can have a priest go into the BWL, mind control, and add, and he can give you a fire resist buff. This is huge, helps so much for Val. My guild does it almost every week. Other guilds, you might want to consider doing that. And another buff that you can get is you can go to Black Fathom Depths in Ashenvale as a mage, and you can actually go click Orb that is by the Murloc boss. It is
debuff
that lowers physical stats but gives you 15 frost power. Since we don't use physical stats, it doesn't really matter. I think it's strength and agility. But the catch with that buff is while the 15 frost power is nice, you can't log off once you get that. So you really have to have a summon or your hearth ready, and you have to do it right around raid time. So I really don't recommend getting this. It just takes so much effort for such a minimal buff. But if you're really trying to min-max, that's how you do it. Alrighty, guys. So the final buff that we're going to get here is Warchief's Blessing. Now, the DBM timer for this buff is very off. It says it's a minute, but it drops in about 7 seconds from when you get the notification. It's almost impossible to log off in time. You can sit in front of Thrall and see Thrall walk forward to do it, but the buff gives you 300 hit points, 15% haste to melee attacks, and 10 mana regain per 5. I don't really use it too much on my mage. If I can get it on my mage, that's fine, but I'm not going to kill my other buffs to get it. It's not that amazing on my mage because I have a Shadow Priest and I prioritize this on my Shadow Priest. In order to get that buff, you have to turn in the head of Rin's, and that is a part of the Oni attunement questline. So people just making alts right now are really the only people turning in. Almost every main has done the quest already. Everyone has turned in the head. So it's just a lot of those, like, it's even rarer now, and it will continue to get more rare as it goes. So since it's such a huge buff on my priest, I prioritize it on my priest before my mage. So just want to let you guys know that, and that's how you get Ren buff. It is on a 3-hour cooldown. It disappears after 2 hours and 30 minutes, but you can't turn it in until 30 minutes after the head drops. But anyway, guys, that's it, and I just wanted to let you know that, and I will see you later. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this helps you. I hope you can learn a lot, sort of how to get all those raid buffs and all that, if you're trying to step your raid game up. But that's sort of all the buffs that I get every time before I go to raid. If you have any questions or if I missed any, please feel free to drop them in the comments below. And thank you guys so much for watching. And just most importantly, stay safe with the coronavirus spreading everywhere, guys. Like, it's crazy. Make sure you're washing your hands and doing everything you can to minimize hurting other people as well as yourself. And stay healthy, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. If you made it to the ending, thank you so much for watching this video. It really helps. If you could, please share this with like one person you know, because it would help me so much. I'd appreciate that. Really gets me going on this and can keep growing to make this sustainable and keep up this lifestyle. So I super appreciate it. And if you could please like, comment, and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. And thank you so very much. Bye-bye.